Sahil, over to you. We heard NCP Chief Sharad Pawar speak, and all allegations made against the BJP for trying to topple the Mahavikas Aghadi government for the last 2.5 years. These are the words of NCP Chief Sharad Pawar, while he also says this is the internal matter of the Shiv Sena and he's confident they're going to resolve it. What's the NCP stance here truly?
Well, right now NCP is watching the situation very closely because they have been told by the Shiv Sena leadership that they will be resolving this issue within the party. The government still has the numbers, is what NCP believes, till the time Shiv Sena doesn't come back to them saying that they are facing a major rift and the government does not have the numbers. Till then, NCP has decided to watch from the close quarters. He just had a meeting with Praful Patel and Sunil Thackeray, two of the main important leaders of NCP, and they had reached Delhi. Both of them are a member of parliaments. Praful Patel briefed Sharad Pawar with respect to the how many MLAs Eknath Shinde have claimed that he has taken to Surat and how Shiv Sena is trying to resolve this issue. Right now, there is no communication between Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar directly, but Sanjay Raut has spoken to Sharad Pawar and assured them that they have been in touch with Eknath Shinde. They are trying to resolve the issue amicably so that the government doesn't fall. Now, the question remains whether the government has the numbers, because if Eknath Shinde, as being claimed, that have 26 MLAs with him, then this government is lying on a very thin majority. If the thin majority is there, that means if they have only 4 to 5 MLAs more for the majority, then this government is bound to fall. That is very clear. Now, what Shiv Sena does to resolve this issue, because Eknath Shinde's major issue is that he has the Shiv Sena MLAs, but not in the numbers which can, stop the action against those MLAs under the act by which the MLAs can switch to the other party. And looking at that, it's very clear that Eknath Shinde is going to raise up this issue that, quit the hand of Congress NCP and form the government with the BJP, which is unlikely that Uddhav Thackeray and whatever the Shiv Sena is remaining at this point of time with Uddhav Thackeray is going to accept. But there can be more defections, is what Eknath Shinde is implying. If that happens,
Sahil,
then
we're seeing some of the rebels who've been brought back. Would you be able to give us additional information on that? We hear that 3 rebels, or rather those who are close to Eknath Shinde, have been brought back. They are now at Uddhav Thackeray's residence. Please give us more information on that. And those are the visuals that we see on our screen
right now what we are hearing is that few of the MLAs who were supposed to be with Eknath Shinde at this point of time, they have been tracked down by Uddhav Thackeray's team and they have been brought back. But that's not enough. They need more numbers. It's not enough because they have almost 26. A few more MLAs were incommunicado, and that is the reason why they have been approached by various Shiv Sena leaders, the local leaders from Thane, from where Eknath Shinde belong, and they have been trying to approach and being told that they should not be breaking the party. But that's going to be a really tough task. If you remember, Sharad Pawar was just mentioning the rebel by Ajit Pawar, but the only difference is that Ajit Pawar remained in Mumbai, did not flew down all his MLAs to outside Mumbai and to the BJP ruled state, and that is the reason why at right time Sharad Pawar could manage to salvage the situation. But here Eknath Shinde planned it meticulously. After voting, cross-voting at the MLC elections, he immediately took all his supporters to Surat, which is a BJP ruled state, by which it became very difficult for the Shiv Sena or the Maharashtra government to reach out to them and bring them back to Mumbai. Now it is completely up to Eknath Shinde and the BJP whether to allow these MLAs to leave the Surat resort and come to Mumbai. One of the MLAs' relatives have also filed a complaint in Akola police station that the MLA has become incommunicado. He has not been able to reach. The story what we are hearing is that Nitin Deshmukh, the MLA from Akola, has been admitted in one of the hospitals in Surat. So that is going to be another tough challenge for Shiv Sena to solve the situation. Right now what we are hearing is that NCP and Congress are closely watching the situation. They are saying that they are with Uddhav Thackeray, provided Uddhav Thackeray manages to keep his flock together. If that doesn't happen, then this government will not be able to be saved.
All right, at this point, from what we know is that at least 3 of Shinde's supporters have now reached Uddhav Thackeray's residence. So the scare was real. They weren't showing up at Uddhav Thackeray's residence for this emergency meet. But for now, what we hear, and we showed our viewers the visuals as well, 3 of Shinde supporters now who have been brought to the Chief Minister's home. They were hesitant. They are supporters and loyalists of Eknath Shinde, but they have now landed up at Uddhav Thackeray's residence. So, Sahil Joshi, at this point, Uddhav Thackeray must be so aggrieved, angry, worried, all of the emotions at once, because he hoped that the entire strength of the Shiv Sena would show up, barring the rebels who are in Surat. But even among those who are there in Maharashtra, not all of them have arrived at his home. Is that right?
Yes. Right now what we are hearing is that the MLAs, because, this basically Shiv Sena was seeing it coming, but they did not know the exact numbers. It happened step by step. During the Rajya Sabha elections, the BJP could manage to break almost 10 MLAs from the MVA flock. But those MLAs were not from Shiv Sena. The Rajya Sabha election is an open ballot system, and that is the reason why they could not break the Shiv Sena MLAs at that particular time. But during the MLC elections, what Shiv Sena could see that almost 12 of the MLAs who were earlier supporting Shiv Sena have cross-voted to the BJP candidate, and later they got to know that not only these 12, but some more MLAs and the ministers have completely snapped communication with the Thackerays, with the Chief Minister, with the Shiv Sena Chief Uddhav Thackeray. And now what they are hearing is that Eknath Shinde, along with those MLAs and the ministers, have already left Bombay, not only Bombay but also left Maharashtra, and have gone to Surat and staying in the resort there. So this has become a very tricky situation. Now if the Shiv Sena will not be able to manage this situation by next couple of days, then obviously BJP will seize the opportunity, and it's likely that the BJP will call for no confidence motion on the floor of the House, or at least is going to go and meet the governor to demand that the governor should force the government to go for the no confidence motion.
Well, for what we hear, BJP sources, they're going to be pressing for a precedence rule. That's part of the BJP strategy at this point, to mount pressure for a no trust vote, a confidence motion like you did mention. But before that, a precedence rule is mandatory because the Maha Vikas Aghadi does not have the numbers. That's what we hear. The BJP is now attempting to push a proposal before the governor, asking for a precedence rule and then maybe a re-election altogether. Could that be a possibility at all? And in how long or what's the window within which the BJP, you think, may make this move if they want to?
Well, right now to go for a re-election is a very distant possibility, because Maharashtra is anyway going to face, almost 15 to 20 local self-corporation elections, including the BMC. Whoever rules the government at that point of time has high chances of winning the BMC back. And you all know that the Shiv Sena's main challenge is to keep the BMC intact with the party, which they have been ruling since last more than 27 years. Now that is a major challenge. Looking at the situation, it's likely that if the BJP understands that if they have the numbers, then they will push for the no confidence mode. Looking at the situation, it's likely that they will go for forming the government. They might use the formula which they used in Karnataka as well as in Madhya Pradesh, where they pushed down the government by making some MLAs to resign. That brought down the strength of the assembly, and because of that the BJP could make the government there, and then during the bypolls they could get these MLAs re-elected to the assembly. But that's a very long shot. Whether the BJP wants to go for that is the question. Rather than that, they will push for a proper rift within the party and form the government properly.